Well, we are back and we have a wonderful set of strategies that we want to continue the shelter in place journey with. The first one, straight off the bat, is call a thing and be free. Now, that's a particular statement that I say a lot of times when I'm talking about spiritual warfare. But in this time, what I want you to do is to focus your mind towards the emotions that emerge as you go through the season. Calling a thing and being free. You can't break free from it if you're in denial of the emotion that you're experiencing. During this season of confusion, chaos, unknown, fear, doubt, disappointment, joy, peace, happiness, because they come too. I promise you, you will have a mixture of emotions. As you're experiencing each of those emotions, quickly identify what they are. Don't stuff them, don't ignore them, but just demonstrate a strong emotional intelligence. Um, be on the lookout, and be on the lookout when it shifts, because you might feel happy in one moment and sad in the next. And no, you're not necessarily bipolar, but you might be experiencing a little bit of double-mindedness in that moment because of external factors. And then if you're able to identify them, you can process through them. You can tap into the right resources. Maybe it's just a phone call to a friend. Maybe you need to read up on something. There's so much information on the internet now that when we're locked away in our house, we can still access that information. Clearly, you're on the internet if you're watching us. So that is not an excuse. You have access to that particular tool. And you can say, how do I manage this emotion, whatever that emotion is that you're going through? Or how do I express this emotion, whatever the other one is that you're going through? And kind of navigating them. So calling a thing and being free, so that you can be free. You can get released from. Is there anything you wanted to share about the emotions?
Sure. I'm just going to give a quick analogy. Many of us have been to amusement parks and we ride roller coasters. Now, I want you to kind of figure a couple of scenarios. One, when you first get on the roller coaster, they always take you up to that first big drop. So now you've got all this anticipation as they slowly take you up to the top, and they let you hang up there for a second. If they could do a drum roll, they would. But you're anticipating this big drop, and the next thing you know, the drop happens. You're going side to side, upside down, back and forth, and you can either be terrified by it, you can enjoy it, you can just roll with it, or anything in between. Now, the thing I want to make a point of is your significant other might be in the car next to you and experiencing everything that you experience as you experience it. The significant other might be on the platform watching you, cheering you on, because they're like, I'm not riding that roller coaster with you. Okay, I'm not, I see all these twists and turns, I'm good. Okay. They may be on the car with you, but have a different response. You know, you might want to sit in the front seat doing the Superman pose with your fist out, going, yeah, yeah. And they're over there hiding their face going, oh God, please let this stop. The thing is, different people will respond differently to the same situation. And what we've had to learn to do is to not vilify or exalt the other person's response, but understand that while you're a couple, while you're a pair, while you're a family, you may respond differently. You might respond the same, but just be empathetic to the other person, that their reality in this situation and your reality in this situation may not line up. And I think we've kind of mentioned that in other points and other subjects, but this is very important to understand, because as you go through your shelter in place period, which, by the way, spiritually will last far beyond what the government's telling us. I can tell you that now. It may not be 7 years for you, but you will have your season. And the thing is that,
or have already had.
Mm-hmm. And the thing is that our season got us to build a stronger relationship. We know what most people think their spouse will do in a situation. We know because we've been through the situations together multiple times, and there's a consistency. Okay. So you get to learn your partner and you get to learn yourself. That's the other thing. You really get to learn who you are. And again, areas of improvement, improve. Areas that you really like, hold on to them. But now you have the confidence to go forward with new challenges, new highs and lows, dips and back and twists and turns. And so you'll become more comfortable because as you grow spiritually and the Lord takes the training wheels off, you will be on those mountain trails. You will be doing things, that you never thought possible because he will expand your territory and your experiences. So I just wanted to add that.
And also going into the next strategy, there will be temptations to develop some bad habits and some addictive habits. And they're usually as a matter or as a response to trying to escape where you currently are or what you're currently feeling. So that's why it's so important to identify those emotions and address them and not to maybe cover them up or mask them with some of these addictive behaviors. Have any of these started already for you? Let's just see. I gotta find it on my list because I have lots of stuff to share with you. The escapism would be like food, eating. I've seen memes on Facebook. I know you've seen them too, where people are like, I'm not hungry, I just ate. And you have to tell yourself that because you're eating just because the food is there and you're there. Okay, so you've stockpiled, you've hoarded, you've done whatever, you've gone shopping. Now you have all this food in the house, and it's like you have to tell yourself not to just eat it because it's there. Eat it on the schedule like you did before. Okay. Or alcohol. Some people drink in order to escape. Some people get in TV and they binge watch. It's okay to enjoy yourself. We're not telling you that. We're just saying use this time wisely and don't form a bad habit that there's nothing to show for it on the other side. Games, video games, those are huge. And oftentimes there's a spiritual thing with them as well. You can create portals. People who design games sometimes design games to hurt you and have nefarious things embedded within. I'm not going to get into detail. I'll let him get into it or we won't talk about it at all. But just know that some of the games that are out there are not games that are well intended for you. Social media. Okay, you're watching this on social media. As soon as you're done watching this, sign off. No, seriously though. There were days where I literally would go on social media fast, if you will, and they're not fast. The only kind of fast is fast from food, but biblical fast, but self-discipline moments of saying, I'm not going to be on Facebook for this period of time because I've been on it too much, or on Twitter, or on LinkedIn, or on whatever your flavor is. This is a good opportunity for you to not develop a habit that's going to have to be broken later and not to participate in escapism. Is there anything that I talked about that you want to follow up on, sir?
Distractions can be anything at any time. Okay. We don't have enough time in being sheltered in place to go through all the lists. Okay. So just know that if you find yourself doing things because you don't want to think about something else, okay, and you find yourself that escape mechanism is taking over the majority of your time, then that's a problem. Okay, taking a break, mentally relaxing, recharging, that's great. You need to do that. But if recharging turns into take over, then you might want to address that situation and find out why you're trying to escape. It's not just saying don't try to escape. Why do you need to? Why do you want to?
I also had to do that with Candy Crush and some of the other popular games. I'd have them, and not only would I wake up and before I would pray, go to Facebook. That was one of the things that convicted me so much. Is like, I'm not even talking to God first. I'm going to Facebook first. That's a problem.
Message.
That's a huge problem, and so that's why I had to do that self-discipline to get myself recalibrated or refocused back into the right way of doing things. And then the other thing was with the games, doing that more than maybe some things that I did have on my to-do list. So I didn't say that I did a good job at these things. Some of these things we're telling you because we learned the hard way. We had to go through the reprocessing of it. So yeah, video games were, some of the fun games were difficult, but I had to let those things go. Anything else? No?
No.
Okay. Well, the next strategy is maintain or start healthy choices. So food and exercise. And at certain times, I did a great job at this. I have walking partners. Shout out to Valita, Katina, and Ida. All three of them at one time or another were my walking buddies. So shout out to you guys. Can't wait for us to start walking together again. So I did that. At one point we were going to the gym. There's videos that are free. There's a ton of resources that are free. There is really no excuse not to get some fresh air or not to do some type of workout. And then as far as the food is concerned, that can be a challenge if your budget is funny. If your money funny, that can be a challenge. And we get that. But still trying to plan things that are a little healthier. I have my treats that I really enjoy. I like sweets. I like junk food. I like sweets. I like junk food. They like me. They stay with me even once I've eaten them. You know what I mean. So it's very important to develop a healthy lifestyle, just to even maintain. I'm not even talking about weight loss or anything like that. I'm just saying just to maintain your health where it is and not to get drugged down and all grudgy and whatever, weighed down because you're not working out or eating right. Anything you want to say there?
While my snack choices are totally different from hers, okay, I prefer dates, figs, nuts.
I eat those too once my stuff is gone.
Right. Once her little stash is gone, she'll settle for the healthier stuff.
I like nuts. I'll eat nuts as my snack choice.
Okay.
It's just they're in small cans. The potato chip bags are big, and so you feel like you're getting more for your money.
Well, yeah, because nuts and fruits like that are much more expensive too. So, yeah. But the thing is this: even that I have to do in moderation because I have to watch my sugar. And with that said, I will ration out. She would tease me because we'd go to the store and we'd buy snacks at the same time. 3 weeks later, I still have half of my stash left.
Not 3 weeks, a week or two.
No, because there was some stuff that was a month, but I would still have dates or raisins or something like that. And she's like, "You still have that?" I'm like, "Yeah," because I ration out my daily amount. Now, if you're not worried about your sugar, then you have a lot more freedom than I do. But I do pay attention to that stuff, and you do have to be responsible with whatever your circumstances. Okay, be it health wise, be it financial, be it just not being ridiculous because it's there, and you have nothing else to do. So just be cognizant of what you're doing and why you're doing it.
Anything else?
No, I'm done with that.
Another strategy is do not word curse yourself or others, but we're talking about yourself right now. There are so many opportunities that being sheltered in place is going to present you to say things that you really don't mean or really truly think. Whether it's from a place of doubt, a place of fear, a place of frustration, disappointment, depression, anger, those same emotions we were talking about at the top of this. Yeah, don't word curse yourself. Don't say, don't call yourself out of your name. Try to look at yourself from the perspective of how does the Father see you? What would he say about you? And if the thing that he would say about what's getting ready to come out of your mouth is something that he would say about you, then have at it, because only good things are going to come from him. But if it's not something he would say, stop yourself, bite your tongue, close your mouth, put a piece of masking tape over your mouth, something, but keep yourself from thinking it and or saying it. Can you say anything else on the word cursing part?
Sometimes when God puts you on a pathway and he gives you a goal, we all have made the mistake of telling someone else who didn't get the memo. And because they didn't get the memo, they don't understand the mission. And if they don't understand the mission, they don't believe the mission is valid. So therefore, they'll say things to you which could cause you to believe their doubt and mess with your faith.
Yo, Noah, why you building that Titanic in your front yard, weirdo?
Right.
But if he listened.
But when the rain came, they were all beating on the door.
Sailing takes me away.
Yeah. In case you guys don't know, that was a Christopher Cross reference. You can YouTube him. Anyway.
Yeah, because I may not have been on tune.
It's actually a pretty nice song, actually. I see why he won a Grammy. But the thing is that people don't get your mission because they weren't given your memo. And for a long time, it took me a lot of heartache and pain trying to get people to understand my mission, but they weren't given the assignment. And she had that hard time too with some people. And it was funny too, because at one point she would say to me, Vince, stop telling people what you're doing because they think you're crazy and I'm stupid for following behind you. And I got to a point where I was so comfortable in what God was having me do. I said, listen, sweetie, you gotta understand something. To me, it's a petri dish. I tell you the truth to see how you handle it. That tells me how God talked to you, if you're supposed to be with me to help me, or if I just need to move on. And people would remove themselves. It wasn't me. It was they thought that I was crazy and she was stupid for being with me. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. You're not supposed to be here. Great. Moving on. And it wasn't personal. I still prayed for them. I have no animosity towards them. It was all good. But I let them remove themselves. And so
because they were word cursing.
Right.
And the thing is, you want to be careful of not letting someone else's word curse become your own personal belief, and therefore then you word curse yourself. So don't accept the word curses of others or of your own. Go ahead.
And so this is why when I was talking in another segment about taking the training wheels off of your prayer life, it becomes a relationship. Because when the Lord starts explaining stuff to you, it'll be for you. Okay. Some of you, most of you have seen the Matrix trilogies. In the very first one, when Morpheus takes Neo to the Oracle, when he comes out the room, he says, what she said for you was for you. Now, there's a whole lot of biblical references in the Matrix trilogies. But I wanted to bring that out because a lot of times what the Lord says for you is for you. It's not for the masses. It's not for your best friend. It's not for your family members. It's for you. And so developing that personal relationship with the Father during this time, along with cultivating and strengthening the relationships with your family, your significant others, and friends and people in your circle, that's all well and good. But the primary relationship that needs to be strengthened is between you and the Lord.
Just to add a little bit more about the whole word cursing piece on a more simplified level, also think about it from the thing of if you start saying things, it's like what follows the word I can't what? Or I am, and then what's the word that follows that? Those are things that you're specifically speaking over yourself. And a lot of times when they're negative, you're building a truth in the spiritual realm, not God's realm, but in the spiritual realm. And it gives a foothold to the enemy to say, well, you said you can't, you said you're this or you're that. Those are word curses. And those are things that oftentimes come when we're in a place of frustration, disappointment, depression, questioning. The very season that we have been forced into will produce you to say things to yourself, about yourself, and about others that you now will have to work through on a spiritual level to clean out. You don't do it in the first place so that you don't have to work on fixing those things that you've given the enemy a foothold in your own life that wasn't even there before. That's all we're saying.
Just remember, the power of life and death is in the tongue. You can speak blessings or you can speak curses. But
Yeah.
the thing that most people don't realize is those blessings and cursings can be anywhere, any direction, including inwardly.
Yeah.
I can't believe somebody will say, well, I'll be, and you know what they say, and they'll be like, no, you'll be blessed. And people look at me crazy when I try to correct them. I'm like, well, you keep calling yourself damned, and you know, okay.
When that happens, when you start experiencing that,
Yeah.
you may have spoken it to yourself. You know?
Yeah, it's really that deep. It really is. It's not something to blow off or think that we're being extra, because we didn't write a single word in that book. Okay.
We just get to share some of the fruits of that book with you, right?
Yeah, I mean, kind of look at it like this. Most of us are not politicians. Most of us didn't write or vote for any of the laws that are on the books, but we're all subject to them. So
he makes a good point. I have a very wise man, so I'm going to go and join him for a couple minutes, and we will be right back.